Um, I'm going live because I want to. And no, actually, I feel like I want to say something, talk a little bit. I normally don't. Anybody know me? I don't do this much, but I've been up all night. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. And then y'all saw this morning I got up and I was playing, which I do. I'm outside in my backyard now, walking around. Normally I'm in the backyard, watering the grass. But it's so cold in Texas today that I'm just walking in the backyard. But I thought I would just come and say something that I've been experiencing. And I want to say something. All right, so I do podcasts, and I tried to do a podcast, and I've been working on podcasts and doing it. I recorded one last night that would have been a bit controversial in my aspect, but when I tried to play it back, it didn't play. And the only podcast that would play was one that I did this year, May 19th, when I was in a bad emotional space and didn't even realize where I was at actually emotionally until I listened back to it today, and I heard just how much pain I was in when I was making that video that day. And that day, my car had broke down. I had a wreck weeks before and was fighting about getting my car fixed, and I sounded a mess. And in the midst of that video, I said that I don't have a testimony of, things that God has done for me that other folk. I don't want to cry, but. And I was angry, y'all. I was angry. And I was hurt. And I was disappointed. And I could hear it. And I was listening to that thing this morning. It's only 12 minutes long, but I was listening to it this morning, and I was thanking God all over again for how far I've come. Most people, I don't go do testimonies, all that kind of stuff, but I listened to how bad I sounded, even though I was acting like I was all right. I sounded bad, and even today when I listened to it, I sounded bad, right? And I was saying, like, I don't have that testimony that says I went to my mailbox and there was no money. Don't nobody. I didn't get a car. I don't have that testimony. So, and I was kind of angry, not with God, but with myself for feeling like I put myself in a place where I was in such need, right? So, as I was listening to that podcast and thinking about what people say about what God does and stuff, and I said in that podcast that I needed to make a decision and leave and do something. Like, I got to do something. Like, I'm failing at everything, right? And I found myself after that worse off, homeless. For some situations, like, I've always tried to be good to people, and I got myself in a situation where I've been too good to others and not good enough to myself. So yeah, I was a little homeless, living in my car, experiencing that life, right, for a couple months. And then my uncle wanted to come see me in Atlanta, and I didn't have nowhere for him to go, and I had to admit that I was in a bad space. And I ended up driving to Texas in July. So May, June, July, I'm living in my car, right? Well, June and July, living in my car. And I ended up in Texas, and still wasn't sure. I was still in that space of like, God, what you gonna do with me, and what am I gonna do with me, because, I'm just in this bad place. Well, that's July. I started a new job, which was positive, and one of the best jobs, no negotiation in my salary. They give me what I want. And I knew God was doing things. I knew he was doing things anyway, because he got me to that frustrated point. And inside of that, I felt like I couldn't get no help. But my pastor, John Marshall, kept me encouraged. And So I got down here, and I'm saying all this kind of slow. I need to speed it up. But I got down here, and Texas is different. It's not active like Atlanta. It's nothing like Baltimore. It is, San Antonio is slow. So that was a good thing, that it was slow and I ain't know nobody and that kind of stuff. So I still holding on to that thing where I don't know what God has done extra other than giving me life and breath and all that, and not feeling down, you know, but still angry like I don't have any family. It's just me in that space. So I started praying and reading and just being more silent. And when I was in my bad place, my pastor Marshall and his wife had told me that I had gotten too used to being able to provide for myself and being able to do everything. And I really didn't understand that. I almost was a little offended because I thought that if God had given me the ability to do, then I should do. And not that I didn't need to pray, but that when I prayed, I felt like I was following all the things that he wanted, but I just really wasn't submitting to God. And so he put me in a place where I had to be totally submissive. I get that now, all of that. So this whole thing is to say that from May 19th, when I sounded at my worst, until now, I am doing the best I've ever done in my life, right? I'm in San Antonio, and I'm in a house that they told me I didn't even qualify for. Literally, I went online for the house on Friday. They said I could come see it on Saturday. Got over here. This wasn't the house that I wanted. Went to see another house that I wanted. The lady said I could get it. The realtor thought I could get it. I applied for it, and on Monday before 10 o'clock, they told me that I didn't qualify for anything that they had because I had an eviction on my credit, on my history, and my credit wasn't the greatest, it wasn't the worst, but then I had some other stuff. So I mean, like, I had been like, God, I need to move out of my uncle's house. I need my own place. I'm too old to be with anybody. And they said I didn't qualify for anything. So I normally fly off, get attitude, talk junk. This day I didn't do that. I called the realtor and I said, well, they say I don't qualify for anything. She said, I don't know, she was kind of confused. I was too, but long story short, I think because I held my tongue and shut my mouth, and I really had asked God to do, I need you to do. Yeah, I said, God, if you don't do something, this was before I went, if you don't do something this week, I'm just going to drive my car to the beach and live at the beach, right? And still going to be homeless, but whatever, I just going to be somewhere else. And this house that's behind me that I keep walking around right here, they said I didn't qualify for this or anything. And 30 minutes after they told me that, they called me and said they had another house, or the lady called me and told me to check out another house. They told me I didn't get it. And I sent them an email. I said, look, I looked at this other house. Do I even qualify for that? And initially they told me I didn't qualify for anything they had. 30 minutes later, I swear, I promise I got the email. They emailed me and said I got the house. Don't know what changed. Not only did I get the house, but I didn't have to put any of the money down that you normally have to put for the house. I mean, just so many things worked out that were outside of me, like so past me. So I said, well, God, I guess you needed to show me and shut me up. One of those things. And so God gave me more than I asked for. Everything that I dreamed of and wanted but didn't know it. He put me in the best place of silence in my life because I don't know anybody here and I don't hang out. And I just wanted somebody else to know that, you know, sometimes people, you think prayers and things are cliche. If he do it for me, he'll do it for you. But I promise you, I'm extremely grateful, extremely blessed, and it is rough being here by myself. I have my uncle, but I'm saying, like, in this space, sometimes, but it's the most peace I've had because I have to do this for me, and I can only trust God. So, if I'm telling you, if you need to know what he does, I promise you, I don't do half things right sometimes. I talk a lot of trash, and but I love God, and I've always honored him in everything that I do, even when I have to go and say, man, I messed that up. But I just wanted y'all to know that I'm excited about my life. And I had to say something because he wouldn't let me stop hearing how bad I sounded May 19th on my podcast, just how bad I sounded, just how bitter I sounded in others. And even though my podcast will always have a tinge of controversy in it, it'll be with a different spirit. But I just wanted to say that. I guess I needed to get it out. And stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay peaceful. And next, my music will sound better. That sounded raggedy. So y'all forgive me for that piece I put out there. But I love y'all. Even if I don't talk to y'all and don't see y'all, I love you. And y'all have a beautiful day. All right, peace.